Okay. Grand rising, everybody. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing good. I just finished doing a little workout. I was doing a Mason twist, working out. But I really had some stuff on my mind late last night. So it's about 5:30. It's about actually 6:30 right now, but I'm going to play some music because it's some stuff that I really want to say and get off my heart. And this is a freedom of expression page. So I can't encourage people to freely express themselves unless I'm doing it. I always talk about being a teacher. You can't really teach until you know. So, anywho, I'm in the mood for some music. Cause yeah, I'm in the mood for some music because I really do want to say some stuff, but I have to stop being afraid of offending people. I don't want to offend anybody, but we're gonna get offended, so we're gonna talk about it face to face. With a theories that can be erased. I used to could sing, y'all. I was an alto. We need each other. Things have changed. It's not the same. It makes me wonder, where would I be if you hadn't discovered, which I did, inside of me. I can't sing like I used to, but I used to could sing a little bit, just a little bit. Love this song. Go back to being the same. I hope y'all doing good. How is everybody? I know I'm not live because I can't really be live like right now. I could be, but a lot of stuff be popping off, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But a good time. I still be shy sometimes on camera, but I love this shit. There's so much color and the laughter we left behind. I love music. I love fashion. This is a page about freedom of self-expression. So, I've had some people stop following, and people that I knew first, like, I can't hide myself anymore for anybody. No one should. And I know people are not asking me to. Nobody say you need to hide yourself. But when I do speak up on the shit, people start unfollowing. So that's fine with me. But it's women that I really like. Unfollow them and their husbands. And it was like, I'm so about bringing people together that it's a shame. I'm so into black empowerment that if I really said what I wanted to say, which I will, but I need to talk about a certain issue about job culture and entrepreneurship and what that has to do with family structure and black empowerment. This is boiled lemon and ginger and a little bit of bitter melon. I like to put the bitter melons inside and kind of eat them. Once I start getting into bitter things, it's not like I like it, but it's a certain, it's a certain taste, like, where everything we eat is so sweet. It's good to have a change, but that's my thought. So anyway, I really want to say some stuff. and people might get upset about, but I'm really tired of holding back the way I feel to make others comfortable. And it's not even that. Maybe I'm attaching myself too much to it, because some people, honestly, in some cases, I'll admit, people not even thinking about me. But in other cases, I know that a lot of people hate me because, or have those feelings of hatred or jealousy or whatever. They don't say it, but I can feel that shit in the air. It's all in the energy. It's all in the air. And I don't want to offend people point blank, but I keep saying it's some stuff that I'm gonna talk about, so I'm gonna just go ahead and talk about it. So anyway, about this job culture thing, obviously, as you know, excuse me, when I was thinking about leaving my good job, working for the school board, and thinking about leaving that job, I know that it was a big decision that I had to make. I knew that it was going to change my life. I knew that I had to think about the money that I was going to make. I knew all those things, and when I started talking to friends and family about that, people were so scared for me. And I understand why, to an extent to which, obviously, you have to make money, but when they hear me talk about Black empowerment and leaving our jobs to create a business, and a lot of people think that you're too good to work, or they think that they have all these issues, and they'd rather clap and cheer for you because you got a job or an interview rather than cheer harder because you're starting a business, because obviously people don't think that it's gonna work. And I really, I've been thinking about this concept for about 10 years, and the reason I didn't do it earlier was because I was afraid. Just like everyone's afraid to start their business or their concept or whatever they want to do. We really do live in fear, and I'm not about to be living in fear or reacting in fear anymore. You may have picked up on that, whether you did or didn't. I'm not going to be reacting that way anymore because I know exactly what to do. And I'm not going to be living in fear based off of what people are afraid of for me, because I'm strong enough to stand up against this system and really talk about it and challenge it. But I can't do any of that without my people behind me, without the Black community behind me, None of us can do it without contributing to each other. So I'm not gonna lie, I've searched for a job here and there, since I've quit my job. And I hate when people, people right now, people really enjoying seeing, what's my next move and what I'm gonna do next, and wanting to see, they don't want to see you struggle, but that they wouldn't mind seeing you struggle to validate that their beliefs about making their dreams possible, they want that to be validated because they think that they can't do it, or they probably think that it can't be done, but another side of them really, really resonates with this sense of freedom that I have, because I don't have to hold my fucking tongue anymore. I can really say whatever I want and not get fired for it. These little job searches and stuff, you don't know how many racist people that I'm running into. It's a lot. It's a lot of racism out there, and a lot of people still don't believe that fat meat is greasy. You don't believe that this system is capable of breaking you because you submit to everything that they have laid out for you, just like on a plantation. They decide where you work, where you live, what you do, how you think, and I'm not gonna submit to that. I'm not like people, when I went on a job interview, my family, and if you don't know about this, I've kind of moved back home. I know you see the background here, but I have moved back home, and my family knows. Some people know, but not everybody knows. But I have, and I didn't want to really talk about this, earlier, because people like talking shit. People like saying, see, I told you, but when I decided to quit my job, I already told my friends and family what was going to happen, and I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that I would have to come back home. I knew that, my financial situation would look a certain way. I knew all of these things, without them saying it, because they think I'm stupid. I know what's going on. I know what I'm doing. I know the consequences of my actions, and I know that I'm going to be responsible for it. A lot of people still think that quitting a good job like that is irresponsible, but it's actually very responsible, because if any other member in the family had to do this, based on the system of racism and, wanting to really start an entity that they can pass down to their children, they wouldn't be able to do it without the help of their family. They're going to have a hard time, struggling like a lot of us do. A lot of us business owners know that once you start a business, people stop fucking with you. Family, they're happy for you, but they're not really that happy for you unless you have a job, because they've got it so ingrained into their heads that this money, obviously you need money, but that's not the source of your sustainability. The source of it is you. White people have made themselves sovereign and decided to do what they needed to do to create wealth, which is, take all of our wealth. It could have been done any other kind of way, but they decided to take wealth from another people. And this is why I have the concept of lumen chic princesses, because I'm tired of this back and forth thing, even with myself, not portraying the people that we really are. We really are a wealthy people. I'm not going to be ashamed to say it anymore. We come from wealth. We created wealth. We are the wealth, and I'm into taking shit back. They're not going to give you your resources back. That's why you have to go out and apply for a job. That's why you have to go out and do, whatever you need to do, which I call begging. I told one homeboy, I don't want to beg for a job anymore, so I'm thinking about quitting. And he was like, you're not begging. What's wrong with going out there asking for a job and, getting the stuff with you, getting what you need to take care of your kids and your family? You're not begging. Actually, yes, you are. If you have to keep doing it over and over again, and they get to decide because they're in power. Someone gets to decide whether to give you something instead of you getting it or having it for yourself. You have to go ask. You have to go ask and ask and ask. Yes, that is begging. Anybody else who has a difference of opinion, or if you're not going to like what I'm going to say in the rest of this video, you can do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to keep being quiet about topics like this, because I'll tell you one thing. When that civil rights enactment came into being, and they gave us, quote unquote, our rights, which was only 50 to 150 years ago, and racism has been rampant for a few centuries. Obviously we're getting shot and killed in the streets. They're killing our men, women, and children. When that shit start hitting you at your job, your black ass feelings is gonna get hurt, because prejudice hurts. Racism hurts when it trickles down to you, really. And shout out to one of my homegirls' mom, Beverly, because we used to talk about that stuff, And we had a good long conversation one evening, and we were talking about racism and the system of white supremacy and stuff. She really is woke, and she was telling me, y'all think this shit is bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. And I was like, man, I really do believe that we ain't seen nothing yet, because they're doing a series of tests on us. We already had that racist riot in that one southern city, whatever it was. They already have done a series of shootings and police brutality. They already enslaved a couple of people, overseas in Africa. They already did that with the slavery thing. They're doing a series of tests to see how we react on this stuff. And we're just letting it slide by like it doesn't matter, or we don't want to hear it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to acknowledge it, because it's too painful. It's too painful to have one of your relatives talk badly about the same God that you grew up with. That's why I get a lot of resentment feelings, because my own family has a lot of trauma that we're dealing with, like everybody's family do. We're not separate. Like, we all are descendants of prisoners of war, aka slaves. I don't like to call it that, because I don't like some of the definitions that white people have gave, for us. What's the definition of a slave? Someone who is enslaved. But in my opinion, it's someone who has been forced into slavery. Someone who has been forced. It's not about ownership. It's about force. And they're not, when push comes to shove, I have to do this for my family. A lot of people thinking that I'm just doing this business for me and for my children. I'm doing this for the entire family, because we need more resources in the family, so that if anybody wants to quit their job, they can have some place to go. And I'm tired of seeing all the resentment and the jealousy and the hatred and the disappointment, because I decided to make this decision for myself and for the family. They don't understand that. Maybe until now, I don't know, because I know that when we start to talk about stuff like this out loud, I had a coworker, that, she's woke, but she's still Christian. And when we would talk about stuff like this, she was like, well, they ain't gonna do that to me. They say that, but excuse me, when can we really just start living like that? We're not gonna be able to unless we can break free from this racist system. Like, it really is racist as hell. And if you don't believe fat meat is greasy, wait till it clogs up your arteries. Wait till you get deeper into it. And I'm not trying to jinx anything. That's another thing that I can't stand, is that when things are evident and you say that it's evident, people will say, oh, don't jinx it. You just don't want to look at the fact of what's going on, what's actually in reality. You want to get lucky with it, instead of determining that you can control the situation by being responsible. Instead of when somebody talks about what's gonna happen because of the cause and effect, you want to say, oh, jinx, don't jinx it, because I already know that it's gonna be all right, and it won't be all right. There's a cause and effect to everything, but I don't enjoy job searching. I'm doing it for kicks, and I'm really going to really focus on my business now more than ever, thanks to a few people who have unfollowed. I used to really think, I hope I'm not offending actually those people, because I actually do love them, and I actually admire women's style and all that stuff. So y'all know I love a good style photo, and I'll like your pic, but I really am for us. But I'm not going to hold back on what I want to say, because none of y'all do. None of y'all do. And y'all be saying the wrong shit sometimes. A lot of people really think that they right, and everything that we've learned is wrong. Everything that we've been taught, this is not our psyche. This really is not who we are. You notice how in tune you are when somebody is being fake. You need to let that out more and just really live in that space of knowing, because you could put that in every part of your life and actually bring it up to the surface and acknowledge that and talk about that, so that you won't quietly act fake. That will create better relationships between all of us, because we have a hard time supporting each other, and we don't see the seriousness behind entrepreneurship in racism, white supremacy. We don't see the seriousness of our placement in time right now, as far as where we are. And we just don't see the seriousness of it, and I'm tired of just pretending, and I'm not gonna pretend anymore. I'm really not, because I know that people have some trauma, and people, if we really wanted to start a family fund, a lot of us have too many ex-fucking crackheads to really, that we're afraid that they're going to use up all the money and all this stuff. And, we have a lot of projected trauma that we're passing on to our children. That's trickling down to innocent children, but they get affected by it. And because of the fear, some people will buckle. A lot of people have buckled. And, I buckled back in 2016 and even earlier on in 2010 about this concept of lumen chic princess, because I was so afraid to have the audacity to call Black women beautiful. We've been trained for some centuries to think that we're ugly, we're beneath, we're the lowest of the low, we're worthless, we're all these negative things that the system has put out in propaganda for us. But I'm so glad that I did, and whether you don't want to admit it or not, I know a lot of people resonates with this, because it's who we are. It's who we are. We are the descendants of heiresses and queens and, all that stuff. And even when I make my little posts, sometimes I get a little squeamish to the stomach. I'm like, oh, I know people are going to be sick of these little crown emojis and stuff like that. But, this is who we are. And I'm tired of feeling the shame of being ashamed to admit who we are, because we actually suffer a lot of verbal abuse in the atrocities of slavery and colonialism. We suffered a lot of verbal abuse, so we would feel ashamed to call ourselves, good or unique or whatever good, things that you want to call yourself. We would feel ashamed of it. And I don't think we need to feel ashamed of it anymore. And you can actually feel however you want to feel. That's another issue that we have with self-expression, is because this police brutality is going on. We feel that, we can't be outraged. We feel that we can't be angry because they're going to retaliate. It's okay to retaliate back, because they had to. I've been watching Gossip Girl lately and on Netflix and stuff. I love movies. I love movie clips and stuff, and a variety of movies. But one of my favorite series is Gossip Girl. One, because I love the fashion, and I'm not really into the storyline of it where they're all sleeping with each other and it's like a big orgy and everybody's fucking everybody and all that stuff. But I love Gossip Girl because of the fashion and the privilege and the the wealth culture within that show. But one thing I realized is those rich Manhattan kids, rich kids all over the world, they'll never have to beg for a job. They'll never have to go apply for a job because they're living off of generational wealth. And how do you think they got that? They actually took it from us. That's generational wealth that they stole from one people, and coming to terms with that now, seeing what one people did to another people, and you're the people who gets the receiving end of the stick, the bad side of it. It's hard to admit that the people that you love, you're not going to admit that you love them, but you show it by the things that you do. You're not gonna admit that fat meat is greasy. You're not gonna admit that these are the people that enslaved you. You're not gonna admit that their mothers and fathers voted for Trump. You're not gonna admit that they're responsible for giving you Jesus Christ. You're not gonna admit that. So they'll never have to beg for a job. That's what I want for my family, though. I want to go back to being indigenous. And they don't, some people just don't get it. And I'm coming to terms with that because I'm really a believer in which anything is possible, but they're not going to nobody's going to give you your resources back. And I think the reason why a lot of us entrepreneurs, there's a link there's a link between being an entrepreneur and being conscious. A lot of entrepreneurs now happen to be conscious because we're breaking out of the system of racism, white supremacy. We're breaking out of that system that's willing to break you when it comes to racism acting up. It's going to keep acting up. Your little feelings is going to get hurt if you're a doctor and you can't help your own because they create some kind of law because they say so, because of the color of my skin, because I'm becoming conscious, because I want generational wealth for my family, because I know that I don't deserve to be beaten and killed, because I know that I want to fight for my rights. They don't want that. And they'll fire you because you won't comply. They'll fire me because I won't comply. I didn't want to comply with those vaccines. I was disgusted to find out that I had the shit in me, and now I'm trying to detox it out of me. Because I don't want that. I don't want to live under force. You have to be forced. that you're forced. That you can't sleep at night. That you would really rather be wealthy. You know that. So why should I hide by trying to help people because a few people are angry because I quit my job? I'm not about to keep doing this. I'm not about to keep acting like and I don't really act like I'm happy. I do this for kicks. Like I'm really doing this for analyzation. I'm not doing this to make money. I told some people that I was gonna move to Atlanta because I really am working towards moving towards there, because I know that I could benefit from being out there with the business that I have. A lot of people are starting businesses out there, and I love that it's just a lot of black people, African people out there who are conscious and know what's up with this system. And a lot of people were upset. A lot of people were upset when I took my little trip to Atlanta, for the ancestral renewal communication. But I'm doing this, whether they know it or not, I'm doing this for the families, not just for me. This has to be done. Restoring our family has to be done, because can you imagine living like this for another 300 or 400 years. Some of y'all think that this is okay because you're happy with your immediate family. You're happy with your immediate family, but what I've learned is no matter how happy you think you are, you still have DNA linked to you with issues that are going to arise in your life one way or another. You know, you still have to submit to this system, you know, that may not be your will. You know, it may not be in your will to submit to this system, but you feel like you don't have a choice because you need to make money. That shit is not cool. That's not right. That's not right. And I'm here to talk about that. That is not right for you to have to work and make ends meet because of force, because of the system. You know, I'm not going to participate in that. I'm not going to participate in thinking that it's okay. You know, y'all could ride for that, but I'm not doing that, you know? And I know this is going to cause a lot of conflict with my own family, but I believe that we can get over this because, you know, a lot of people don't want to understand it because a lot of us people who are entrepreneurs and are free and are leaving our jobs and stuff, we've talked about y'all God so badly that, you know, when you see us struggling, you know, obviously there's going to be some struggle when you start your business, but when you see someone struggling, you know, you think that validates whatever you have in your head about that's why you shouldn't have quit. That's why you shouldn't have left Christ. That's why you're lost. That's why you don't know what you're doing. You don't, you know, they think that you're confused, but I'm actually more clear than I've ever been. And I'm not giving that up for anyone or any religion that makes me submit to racism. You know, that makes me submit to not wanting to face my African side because the literature in there is wrong, you know, and it doesn't validate the true timeline of African history. It doesn't validate it at all. It's false, you know, and that is what I'm saying. All the books that you have, all the libraries of Christ and all that stuff that you have, all of that is false. All of that is made up, and it's so much information out there. You wonder why people are waking up. This is why. It's because we're realizing that it's false. Like, it's not real. You're not understanding your story as an African princess, prince, king, or queen. Like, you know, you don't understand that they took you from your palace, beat you, and forced you to profit off of you. And to keep you, they don't care if you never go back. They don't care if you never figure yourself out. You're not supposed to, and it's designed for that in each and every aspect of life. All this whole culture, all this social engineering to where women don't want to be wrong about anything, and men, I'm not gonna speak on men because I'm not a man. I can't speak on that, but and that's not really my topic. But you know, it's all about social engineering and creating an aura about yourself that's actually false, and you know, keeping you that way. They didn't care about your children. They didn't care about, you know, where you work. You know, they didn't care about enslaving you. They didn't care about, you know, whatever other aspects. I can't even think right now, but you know, they're not going to care about your religion either. They're not going to care about, you know, the transition, your conversion into Christianity. They don't care if you ever convert out of it. You're actually not converting out of it. You're returning to being African, which you are. No matter what you say, it's still in your eyes, your melanin, your blood. You know, no matter what you say, you're still African. No matter what you do, you'll still be African. No matter what happens, no matter where you go, no matter how many lifetimes you live, you're still African. Like you're still who you are. And, you know, I'd rather not be suppressed, because we are suppressed Africans. And it's going to take time to heal and really get over our situations with why we can't support each other. You know, it's so crazy, because you'd rather clap for me having an interview than to start a business where I can possibly make millions. You know, I don't want to live poor anymore. We're overdue for justice. We can stand up today together and get some money. But a lot of people are too scared to do it, because they think that, you know, their little one effort doesn't matter, because we've been trained to be that way. They trained us to be that way. They trained us to be that way for a reason, so that we don't come together and support each other to defeat them. They've trained us to understand that it doesn't matter what little effort that you put in, you know, what little dollar that you put in, you know, it's not going to make a difference, because their system is so supreme. They're the majority. They trained you to believe that they're the majority, when really we are the majority. They just call us a minority. They trained us to believe so many things that aren't true. We ain't never been a fake people. We've always kept it 100. So I don't see why we can't talk about this. I do see why, but you know, it's going to take some time. I know it's going to take some time, but the only bad part about that is we don't have a lot of time. They're trying us out. They're trying us out to see how we react. We're in war. I study art. I study propaganda. Dr. Seuss, when they had Dr. Seuss Day at school, I just kept my mouth shut, because I've already talked about so many things at work, because it just boils my blood to even be at a school and teach without teaching sensitivity training between diverse groups, without teaching, you know, about the system that we're in. Children being in a social structure, your macro and micro system, being at home and being at school, but being at home, being around adults and parents like that. That's why I'm so squeamish about being who I am and expressing my sexuality and my sensuality and all that stuff, because I know that I work with kids, and people are always looking at me a certain type of way to get some kind of dirt on my name. And I've had my name dragged through the dirt a lot, so I'm already used to that. But it's crazy, because a lot of children hear cuss words at home. A lot of children hear inappropriate language at home. A lot of children see things that they shouldn't be seeing, or are exposed to stuff that they shouldn't be exposed to. So they know about hoe culture. They know about being a hoe and being a thought and all this crazy stuff. They know about shooting and all that stuff. They know about guns and all that stuff. It's in the wrong context, you know, with the guns. You know, I actually don't mind a little boy holding a gun, you know, based on protection, not based on, you know, you think that you can't control. I'm not even going to get into that, but you know, all the stuff that children see, you think that they can't learn about diversity in a proper and educational way. You think that they can't learn about racism and entrepreneurship in a proper educational way, but they know about thoughts. They know about guns. They know about so many things that are already embedded in them from birth, because of the system. If you let a child watch television for 6 months, racism, white supremacy has already been input into their psyche, because everything on TV is white. Everything that matters and that is of any worth and that is actually normal is white. They make it unnormal because they only have one black person. When you're African and all you see in magazines are white people, it makes you feel like you're not normal. So all this talk about, why aren't you, why are you so black? Is because I am black. It's because I am. I can't go to an interview really speaking the way I want to speak. I have to speak like this. And I have to speak more proper, but they don't consider this proper. This is natural for me. And all they see is my black face. So whatever thing that doesn't sound like them, they're really gonna look at it in a certain way, and they're gonna hire whoever they want to hire. That's why I don't go for that shit. That's why I can't. No matter what people say, no matter what beliefs they have, I know what's true. I don't go off of beliefs anymore. People want to argue and debate with me about, what I've done, and, they don't want to help because they want to see me get out of it myself. I'm already out of it. I'm already free. I've already set myself free. I've already won. I'm already wealthy because I can do whatever I want, and I have the opportunity to make whatever amount of money that I want to make because I'm not held down by some job. So I'm when you think you're struggling sometimes, that's why it's good to really express yourself. That's why when I get on here and talk about this stuff, I actually do feel a little bit more happier because I really am expressing myself and hopefully helping somebody else see this, because a lot of us think we're crazy. We have this thing that's going on in our community where we're waking up, but where we're still asleep and we need somebody to wake you up. We think that we're crazy, and you're not crazy. It's really, it'll be all right though. It'll be all right, but it's really unfortunate now because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to offend people, but, people are going to feel certain kinds of ways about this. I don't want to inherit trauma. I don't want to inherit the backlash that my family members have for me. Some people don't want me here, but they say they do, but they really do, because that's their inner African speaking out. They really are for a community, but their inner white supremacy is saying, I don't want you here because I had to work, so should you. It's like a mentor said, it's not normal to leave your children with nothing. It's not normal to come into this world with nothing. It's not normal to leave your kids with nothing based on an emotional decision. That's what Christianity has done to us. You don't want to connect the dots, and I'm tired of connecting dots for people. There are so many people out here who are talking about these issues. Y'all need to go follow Kevin Wesley. Y'all need to go follow Art Cathy, Jade Arendelle, the Ancestral Way Masterclass and Study Group. Y'all need to go follow somebody. Y'all need to do something, because I can see that this shit ain't working for you, because I've done the same thing and it's not working for me. We're still overweight. We're still struggling in our life. We might be at a job making some money and doing, your thing, which is good. And I'm applauding that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I know that something has to hold you over in the meantime. I know that. When I talk about freedom, they start thinking a different type of way. And they can't they can't distinguish what I'm saying. You know, it's crazy because when I really do speak the way I speak, a lot of people can't really distinguish me saying you don't need money at all versus you don't need their money. I'm not saying that you don't need money at all. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't need their money. You can create whatever amount of money that you want to create. I'm so glad I broke out of that shit. I'm so glad I broke out of that fear of starting my business, because I'm about to start doing some shit and stop being afraid to do it based on what people think, or based on my own insecurities of what people think. You know, because I am insecure of what people think about me, because I have that in me just like everyone else does. I have that inner racism, white supremacy, and I'm gonna purge that shit. You know, I really do think that, you know, I don't wanna, you know, look too great. I don't wanna step on people's toes. I don't wanna offend anybody. I don't wanna let people know that I'm trying to make money. You know, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to make money. You know, all that shit, that's my insecurity. You know, we all have that though, because that's why we don't want to start a business, because we think that it's not going to work. But we don't understand that that's how Asians do it. That's how every other culture does it. That's how we used to do it. And we have to get back to that. You know, $1 counts. It really boggles me how you don't want to give to and you don't have to, you know, because I'm gonna make my own way, but it boggles me the way that people don't want to give to something that you're really doing for the community, because they want to see instant results, you know. And I actually thought I could provide instant results, but I actually had to slow down and really work on this thing so I can get an achieved result. But they'd rather not donate to your charity. They'd rather not only donate to another charity, but donate to another charity in their name. Like this Facebook thing where you decided for your birthday to donate to whatever organization that you want to donate to in your name. You don't know how much money they're draining out of our community. They get our money through church offerings, through charitable organizations, and y'all know that Akon have done more for Africa in 1 year than UNICEF has done in the last 30 years, than all these charitable organizations have done. You know, they you know, we only have each other. They're not gonna tell you what they're doing. They're not gonna tell you that their CEOs are banking off of us, and they really they really living wealthy off the people. You know, they're not gonna tell you that. They're not gonna say anything. They're gonna let you figure it out, and by the time you figure it out, it'll be too late. But it won't be too late, because fortunately we have a conscious community. That's something that they do not want. So I'm not going to keep going in circles about it, but I do want to bring this to a level of awareness, especially for all my fellow entrepreneurs out there, and some people on my page now that I know who have their business and, you know, have probably stopped, or have probably, you know, stopped thinking about it, or, you know, stop being consistent on it. Sometimes it's hard to be consistent. Obviously, you see me, but, you know, you have to keep being consistent. And I'm going to keep being consistent about mine, you know, regardless of what people think, you know, because I actually want to help you. I actually want to help people, but, you know, it's going to take time for them to realize that, you know, if they don't want my help, fine, but, you know, I'm not doing this solely for myself. You know, I can't be, you know, we need, the black community needs help. The black community needs assistance from each other. They need somebody to stand up. You see that, you know, that picture, that meme where there's a man with a whip and there's a population of people and there are like 3 or 4 pictures. So in the first picture, the man has the whip and everyone is bowing down. In the second picture, the man is still whipping harder when one person stands up. The person with the whip is whipping harder. And in the next picture, a couple of people stand up, I think, and they whip even harder. But then the last picture is when everyone stands up and that person with the whip bows down because he can't, because they outnumber him. But it's crazy. This is the image of white supremacy. They're the person with the whip, and we are that mass majority of people that bowed down. I'm not bowing to that shit anymore. I'm not gonna keep, I'm not gonna work for the system. I'm gonna work for myself. It feels so much better. If I hadn't quit my job, I wouldn't even be doing this. But I'm grateful for that. I'm not grateful for being poor and being impoverished. I'm not grateful for begging for a job. I'm not grateful for that shit. That doesn't mean that I take it for granted. I don't take it for granted, but I'm not utterly grateful for it. Because this is an extension of the white man controlling the black man, woman, and child. When you go and apply for a job, it doesn't look that way in society, but it's an extension of slave owner and slave master. Slave owner, master, and the slave. It's an extension of that image. All the acts that we do, going to look for a job and beg for a job, going to vote, going to church, is an extension of the image of them whipping you. It's an extension of that. And the only way to get out of that force, to get out of that realm that we're living in, is to really come to terms with our souls and really come to terms with what has happened to us as Africans. You can't be a king or queen and not know who you are. You can't be a leader and be afraid to go out and lead. You can't. So, I've already said so much, but, everyone is for themselves, but we need to just start being a community, because I'm tired of talking about it. We have so much waiting for us if only we could be free. We have so much to look forward to if only we could not be afraid to go out. That's why I'm glad I got into womb school in the ancestral way. Not a lot of people, because I don't talk to a lot of people about this, but some people hate the fact that I'm rocking with these women and men and, certain people, but, that's a sickness, because that's also an extension of them forcing you to hate your own rather than to hate the slave owner who enslaved you. It's an extension of that. That's why I can't really, that's why I have to express this. Because sometimes I don't want to express it to their faces because it'll cause argumentation. it'll really cause a division. It'll really cause argumentation, and I don't like to argue. You know, some people can't talk about this situation without getting emotional, and I'll admit I'll get emotional about it sometimes because I don't like what people are saying, because I know it's not true, because I know that I've done the research and they haven't. So when I have to hear it over and over again, I might get emotional. I'll admit that. But you know, other than that, I try my best not to get emotional about talking about this, because we have to talk about this in a logical way, because that's the only way we're going to get over it. We can't talk in, we have to talk in plain terms. Like, we have to say basically what it is. That is an extension. When I say that I love this group that I'm in because I'm setting myself free, mind, body, and spirit, and I'm really doing some things, you know, it may look a certain way now, but I've come to learn in the Ancestral Way group that, you know, sometimes the way things look, it may not feel like it's the best for you, but as far as your ancestors are concerned, you know, it is the best for you. And I say ancestors because we're still connected to our ancestors. You know, a lot of us haven't talked to them in centuries because of colonialism, but you know, we wonder why we're struggling so much. Is because we don't have our ancestors like every other culture does, you know. And all this stuff that I'm talking about, they got it from the African. That's why our culture and our religion, if you will, is so powerful. That's why they don't want us to have it. That's why we're getting killed. That's why, is because our spirituality is so powerful that if we knew what it was and what it entails, that, you know, we could defeat this thing. That's why we're getting killed. That's why people are waking up. That's why people are quitting their jobs, because they know sooner or later it's going to be too late. When that shit starts to hit, I don't want to be around. I want to be under some people that got some real power. I don't want to be caught at my job and shit and facing discrimination. Discrimination hurts. You know, we all know that discrimination hurts based on when we go into a clothing store. You know, discrimination hurts. It does. Like, I don't want to be caught around that shit anymore. Discrimination hurts when you're going to look for a job. You know, discrimination hurts when you can't get justice because you see some white person stealing and they get to get away with it. You know, you brush it off, but that shit still hurt, my nigga. Like, it does. Like, discrimination hurts. Like, it does. So I'm not about to be discriminated against. I don't want to live like that anymore. I'm not, you know, just to make money. You know, that's the other thing. We've gotten so comfortable that we don't, a lot of us don't see that. But once you talk about it, I know that you see it, because that's in your soul. That's the shit that you brushed under the rug in the back of your soul. You know? But there is a way. It's based on whether you're willing to go into the depths of your soul and face everything that you've been taught to face. You know, every part of your spirituality that's been locked up for so long. You know, it's whether you're willing to face that. And, you know, there are people to help you face that. That's why I'm in the womb school. If you don't know about the womb school, you need to follow Art Kathy and join the womb school, because, you know, I know that people probably aren't gonna, people not on my page, you know, like alumni and church members and stuff, you know, I would love to see them join so we could really be in this, like, hey girl, bitch, you in here too? But they not gonna do it, because, you know, that disconnect is an extension of our disconnection when we got on those ships. I mean, that's a long disconnection when, you know, if somebody on my page were to get into the womb school, that's a disconnect, and that's a huge disconnection, because it's like, I know you, you know me, but I'm not about to get into that, because I don't want you to think that I need help, or, you know, I don't, you know, bitches is losing weight, bitches is getting their waist together, bitches are really doing it. Like, we starting our businesses, man, people are finding love, people are healing their families, people are doing so many things that make them happy now. People are being set free. People are making thousands of dollars and not worrying about their suppression when they have to go work with other people. You know, people are really doing it. That's why I really want to go to Atlanta. That's why some people were upset, you know, because I spent some money. Ain't no amount of money worth your freedom. No amount of money is worth connecting with your ancestor. There's no amount of money worth healing your soul. There isn't. Like, there just isn't. There's no amount of money worth your child being killed, right? You know, there's no amount. You can't put a price on us. Like, that's why I feel like it's so good to really spread knowledge, and I know that it's going to keep spreading, and we need to keep teaching each other about this stuff. You know, it's not going to go away on my page. You might go away, but this is not going to go away, you know. And I'm so glad that I came to a point to really talk about this, and I'm going to be talking about a lot more other stuff, but I feel like this was enough for today. It's already been 1 hour, I think, but thank you guys for listening. Make sure you go follow Lumen Chic Princess. This is the Rainbow Goddess ringlet, and I love this ringlet. I love all of my ringlets, but this is the Rainbow Goddess ringlet. And I'm still reconstructing my my actual website, but you can go shop on my little Facebook shop. So gets a little tangled, but it untangles easily. It does. Okay, not on camera right now. See, there we go. But, you know, this is a fashion statement. You can wear a gown with this, or you can dress casual, but this is a real fashion statement ringlet for people who love fashion. This is the Rainbow Goddess ringlet, you know, made with little teardrops, little droplets of rain, you know, to express your power with a little bit of sunshine. I really love this ringlet. So if you want this ringlet, go to my Facebook page, Lumen Chic Princess, and you can get this ringlet. You know, really, we need to really start supporting each other. You know, I love all of my Black-owned businesses. I've spent some money with y'all. You know what? I'm going to talk about that probably in the next video or so. But about shopping, I try to buy Black as much as possible. And that's another thing that I don't like, is that, you know, if you've seen this video, or it's not a meme, it's a video on Facebook, to where this one conscious girl is telling another conscious girl, you know, your tag says H&M. Why you know, she's telling her about her clothes or something like that, and why are you shopping here or something like that, and made the girl feel bad. But that girl that felt bad turned around and saw her tag and saw that it was H&M. And she was like, well, look at here. You know, if all of us really started our business, we wouldn't have to go through that shit. That's why I don't like when people say, well, it's so much prejudice out there and violence out there, you know. Why don't you go do something? You know, a lot of people are doing something, but we can't do it without each other, you know, because we're more powerful together. I can't stand that shit, but you know, we have to put up with it. You know, that's a level of consciousness that's going higher and higher, though. I know that it's just memes and videos and stuff, but we are going somewhere, and I'm definitely gonna go on that ride. And if you want to come on this ride with me, make sure you follow me at Lavetta Janine, and follow me at Lumen Chic Princess and Sewing Unity for Women and Girls, because I'm going to be doing free sewing lessons and free Swahili lessons. So make sure you follow me there, okay? Thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Kwaheri, which means goodbye.